Hello, my name is Lori, and welcome to Changing My Nails. Today I am removing the Azure dip from a couple weeks ago. As you can see, I got a little bit ahead of myself before I realized I didn't actually show them at the beginning. And I am using a coarse ceramic rounded tip drill bit to remove the former dip. And again, to save time, I am showing just my pinkies and my thumb, and I'm even cutting those clips down because I don't think you really need to see me do the whole entire nail. And my system is usually pretty much the same. Once I'm done with the removal with that bit, I switch over to ball bits and I clean up the cuticle area and just shape and get rid of any extra dip that's in the edges of my nail. From here, I switch over to a fine bit barrel bit and I just clean up the edges again and I smooth out my bed. This is the first step in prepping my nails for the new dip. Once I think I'm completely done with the removal process, I do like to use a nail brush to remove any of the dust. I do then use some rubbing alcohol to spray down my nails and clean up anything that's left over. And now I'm moving to my cuticle prep. This is Sally Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover. I really do like to use this on every nail prep. And I also use this blunt cuticle pusher, and I've mentioned in other videos I never use a sharp one. I always use these blunt ones because my nails are way too thin for the sharp ones. And now that I've loosened up some cuticle, I repeat the process with the ball bits, both the large and the small, and I go around and try to clean up and remove any extra cuticle that this bit will remove. And here I'm using a diamond tip bit. This is also a fine grit and it's designed to be used for your cuticle. But again, I am very careful. I don't want to create any more damage than I absolutely have to on my nails. So it looks like my nail prep so far is looking pretty good, and the clear dip base that I have is still looking pretty good. So today is test day. This is where I test either kits or other products that pertain to dipping nails. So if you have any dips or kits that you would like me to test, just leave a comment below and I will look into doing that in a future video. So this kit is DipsyDip, and they have their own website and based in the United States. And I got this kit directly from them. It came with 2 colors, 2 dips, and 4 liquids. And then I think there was a brush and a file in it, and I really didn't use either one of them. So the 2 colors is Gracious, which is a gray, and then Don't Be Jelly, which is a purple. And then of course it came with the liquids. In this kit I chose to get a matte top coat because I have plenty of the regular top coat, and I thought I would just try the matte this time. So I have never used this before, so I do have to open up the powders. So it takes me just a little bit of time to do that. So this kit actually came with a nail primer, so I'm going to use that one today instead of the Bond Aid that I typically use. But I still treat it as I would the Bond Aid just because it is liquid, and I do want it to dry completely before I start adding more product onto my nails. So I do let it sit for at least 5 minutes to dry. So I am going to use DipsyDip Base this time. I have a complete review of each of these products at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to use the purple on 3 of my nails and using the gray as my accent on my middle and ring finger. I found these products very easy to use. The dips were not pain, they didn't make a mess, they were relatively easy to clean up, no staining, so I really did like the products themselves. And really the only liquid that was strong or had somewhat of an offensive smell was the primer. The base and the top coat and the activator was all pretty mild. So again, I go through my typical routine of dipping, cleaning up the edges so there's not as much buildup there, and brushing them off. And I did put 2 coats of both the purple and the gray on my fingers before I put the Mia Secret Clear dip on top of it. And once I'm satisfied with the coverage of the colors, like I said, I use my Mia Secret Clear. I use this as my base and as my top. I like to use this on the base because it adds some strength and rigidity to my very weak nails. And then on the top, I just like it to be a layer between the bits and the color so I don't file off all the color. I do actually like to use a spoon to put the clear on top of my nails just to reduce the amount of color that gets into the clear. It's not 100% because I do end up putting this back into the clear, but I'm not jamming the nail with the color into the clear to have some of it rub off. So generally speaking, I usually have a good 2 coats of clear, 2 coats of color, and 1 coat of clear again on my nails at any given time. And as I've mentioned in some of the other videos, I do have different makeup brushes for each color. So this is a brush for the clear, and then I have one for the purple and one for the gray. And it's more or less to try to keep the colors from being contaminated. And because I'm not good at putting liquids on my nails, I do use a file very carefully along the edges of my fingers on the skin so that I'm not activating the dips and the glues right onto my skin. It definitely helps with the cleanup. So once I'm happy with how the extra mess on my fingers is, I will activate it, and I do put 2 coats of activator on, and I let this sit for a minimum of 5 minutes. So once I'm satisfied with how the activator has cured, I pull out my hand file and attempt to shape and file my nails. I am still a newbie at this, so this is not one of my strong suits. And now it's time to clean up the mess that I made with my very poor use of liquids. And I am trying to clean up along my cuticle edge and to reestablish the fine line between my nail and my finger. And once I think that I have that complete, then I bring out the fine barrel bit again and do the final cleaning up and shaping of my nails, both along the edges and on the top. Then I do the nail brush again, and I do bring out the rubbing alcohol again. I know I don't always show that, but I decided to this time, and I clean up my nails before I activate again. And I do like to activate again just in case there was any dry spots that were revealed during the filing of the nails. And again, I do 2 coats and then I let it sit for a minimum of 5 minutes. This is where I typically run and try to do something else and hopefully come back in the 5-minute time frame. And this time I'm going to use the DipsyDip Matte Top Coat. So DipsyDip Top Coat is not a gel top coat. It is a dip top coat, which means I will not be using a UV lamp. So you'll see me, hopefully each time, brushing off the brush before I put it back into the bottle. This is my attempt to save my top coat because if I get activator in there, the top coat is going to solidify. And once the top coat has dried, I let that sit for a good 5 minutes as well. I use the Cuticle Oil to kind of revive my nails, and it's going to actually take away the matte finish because I'm adding oil to it. Once the oil has dried and dispersed a little bit, the matte color will come back. You could kind of tell that they don't have the type of sheen that they normally would if I had used a regular top coat. So that is the DipsyDip Dip Kit. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting, and also checking out my website, changingmynails.com. Until the next video, I hope you have an awesome day.